Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a non-bingo-y rack, but it's balanced, and I can get rid of the non-bingo-y tiles with Gov, which takes fewer hooks than Vug. Now, still a long way from a bingo, but a good scoring tile in the X. Just wondering if there could be an 8 with the right floater, but I don't think so. B, Y and X together, not very bingo-y. So what if opponent changes? My X can go above the U. I've got an A for going above the G. But that leaves B and Y on my rack. Opponent does change. So what I could do is play Bay, getting rid of the B and the Y, retaining the X, not providing very much for opponents. Yeah, I think I prefer this to X. I'm going with this. I have diaxons out of nowhere and possibly dioxans, and they play in column 10 and row I, so I should be bingoing. So, is it 2 anagrams or just 1? I'm confident about diaxons. Just the other one I'm less sure on. Well, I doubt if much will turn on that choice. So, do either of those play in row F? No. Oh, wow, opponent gets their bingo down first. However, there is now a spot for a double-double for 114, and I draw the first blank. Fantastic. So, do I have a bingo here? Onto an O, I would have forzando, or from an F. Is there another one? Some of these plays begin SF, as in Svorzando, Svorzandi. Oh, 62 for opponent, that's wretched. So, my lead, just 10 points. So, could I have a bingo? Column 11 is a pretty useful bingo lane. No super hot Z spots. I'm going to have a quick squiz. See if any 7s come to mind. Nothing there. So this is forzando onto an O. Dragon Eyes as a 9. 18 minutes on my clock. Nope, not seeing anything there. Nope, still nothing. Okay, so where can I play the Z as my scoring tile? I could play DZO in column 11, but opponent can then score off the Z. I've got Zona in row L for a big score. Might be worth doing. So easy for opponent to score off the Z. That's 52. I was thinking about playing it in row F, but the Z doesn't get doubled. I've got Ron's on my rack. Joe only takes an R, so I don't have any big overlap. Zonda is good. So I could do this for 43. Excellent rack leave, and I'm not gifting opponent a super hot Z play, and these floaters may be useful for me to bingo. I am going with this. And I draw the Q. Rest of the rack pretty good. I don't see... Well, yes, I have talked in column 11. Will that stay available? And does it play anywhere else? I don't think so. Through an E, I would have requoted. Z doesn't look useful. Not seeing anything with the O. How about the N? No. What about this D? No. So all I'm seeing is talked in column 11. I have a 50-point lead. So is there anywhere for the Q if my bingo is blocked? I don't think so. I don't have an I. No floating A's available for cat. Kneecap. If I had an N and an I. Gosh, what a dramatic rack. I could be bingoing and I could be struggling to score anything. It may be worth just exchanging the Q if my bingo is blocked. But surely opponent's going to be drawn to the tiles in Zonda. Phew, I thought that might be a bingo coming down. Now opponent provides a floating U, provides access to triple word squares. So I think any bingo would need a U. So I'm not seeing anything in row A. I think I have requoted in row B. Yeah, I do. And I think this is preferable to talked. 88 points. Wow. I find it very hard to choose between requoted and talked. There'll be similar score. But TO in column 11 provides triple lane, triple word square access, vowel next to a triple letter square, whereas requoted provides two hotspots, so I'm guaranteed one of them. Yeah, I'm going with this. Oh wow, not a great pick. In the top row I have Powney, and I have Prow in column 1, so this strategy has paid off. I am going to get a half-decent score. And Powney would sort the rack out in 1, whereas Prow would leave double N and a Y, so not great. But I have a 100-point lead. So either of those plays will help me maintain that lead. Row L still quite hot for an overlapping play, getting value from the J. X takes an O. EA takes an N. And Jow is good, so I've got 1 in that spot. Not a great rack leaf, 4 consonants. But over 30 points, so half a bingo. Now, do I really not have anything better than Prow in column 1? No, not seeing anything. I have Troy, but that's not better. 110-point lead. And a lot of very bingo-y tiles to come, including a blank. Now, I've just noticed that through an E I would have 2 penny, but no E available. Just, well, 30 points is quite good. But what's even better is that my preferred spot remains available. So Powney for 51. Oh, wow. So wretched. Sometimes opponents play a bingo and then get a back-to-back bingo. But this is what 5 random tiles can also do for you. And opponent bingos. So my lead just 50 points. And this is horrendous. And where are the floating vowels? Nowhere. 14 minutes on my clock. Fantastic pool apart from UUW. And a bunch of I's. 2 N's, 3 T's to come. I'm just wondering if I exchanged whether I should hang on to N or T. Let me count the remaining vowels. 20 out of 38, so a very balanced bag. I am changing. I'm really not seeing anything I can do with this rack. G takes an A in front for future reference. G takes an N. Nothing down from Y through this E. So I am changing. And I'm keeping NT. Wow, fantastic. I dodge duplicating N or T, and I draw the blank, and I have a bingo-y rack. However, not a huge number of bingo lanes available. So, do I have a playable bingo? Where are the lanes? Where are the floaters? Row L is a lane, but with at least a 4-tile overlap, with X only taking an O, so I don't have anything. The most promising lanes are through the R and S of railers. So, what do I have through either of those? The S looks more promising. Let me have a quick squiz, see if anything comes to mind. I don't think Stencher is good. Not seen anything so far. Shorten plus an E. Nope. Now, opponent plays 45 points. Brutal. My lead just 10 points. And I was 100 points up. I'm still looking for bingos through the S. Not seen anything. No. So, what if it began UN? Not seeing anything. What about Hastener? That might be good. And it might not be. Let me try it. Hastener for 61. And it's good. Fantastic. So I re-establish a lead, but the remaining pool is bingo-y. Is outfield good? Well, even if it is, I don't think it plays. IFF is good, only an S goes after jaw. The floating Z has not been used by either of us. So, What can I do with this rack? Can I get value from the F? All of the big bingo tiles have gone. I guess I didn't consider row D as a big overlap. Last turn, Odar takes an H. Oh well, that's for later. So what can I do with I double F? Well, I have elf, but that takes front hooks and leaves the U on my rack. So I'm really not seeing anywhere great for the F. And I also have a slightly vowel heavy rack, which could get worse if I don't deal with it. UFO is good. I've got the full suffix. I can't do much with the H. HUE is probably the best I can do. Only 18 points. I'm not in a hurry to get rid of the F. It's a good scoring tile and it helps deal with vowels. Now, I have ORF in column 1, ORFE. Over 30 points, that could be handy. Do I have anything else? I'm not seeing a URF play. 27 for opponent. Does the T give me a bingo? Outfleet, not good. What about the I? No. I don't think this is dangerous enough to require that I block them. This is quite a balanced rack leave, and 31 points is decent. I'm going with this. Okay, well, I have the dreaded UW combo. I also have Outlaw on my rack, 14 tiles in the bag. And opponent makes the play I was considering a while back. Now, 12 tiles in the bag, I do lead by 60. There are only 2 bingo lanes. What I could do is kill them with Outlaw. The danger is that H and K and P can go next to this A, and I'm only scoring 9 points, so that's not a massively smart play. But I do like taking out that T. Well, remaining pool not massively bingo-y, but opponent could have a play like teaching. So can I do something similar to Outlaw, but without providing a hotspot for opponent? Through an N, I would have Walnut. Just wondering if I can get my W tripled, but I'm not seeing anything. 10 minutes on my clock. And an alternative to blocking bingo lanes would be to keep scoring. So can I get 30 points with my W? Not that I can see. Now, there must be something other than Outlaw through this T. Towel, but that keeps the U. However, all U's have been played, so I'm not going to duplicate that. But the low score is pretty grim. Just thinking about Toluate. Quite attractive. Turns over a lot of tiles, 6 tiles. I'm almost certain to draw a vowel. I'm retaining the W for score. What I'm not doing is stopping bingos in column 14 beginning IN, but any such bingo is going to give access to row O triple word squares. I am going with toluate. Well, pretty much as bad as it could be. However, I do have 2 vowels, and I have a 68-point lead. And I'm not seeing anything beginning with IN. I can see inherit, but that's not a bingo. Toluate has provided nothing. And I've got good scoring tiles. I could play Vor in row M. 24 for opponent. Wow, the remaining pool does look slightly bingo-y. So, does opponent have an 8-letter play through this I? What goes between E and A? Just the T. Okay, I'm not seeing anything beginning TI. What about beginning IN? Or IM? No. Although there could be. So I'm probably going to empty the bag. So what are my options? 8 minutes on the clock. If I played across from the R, it would begin RI. My lead is only 44 points. So if opponent bingos, they win. But I haven't seen a win for opponent. I think it would begin IM or IN. Just not seeing it. So what I was thinking about was playing Vor for 25. Opponent could have thieved, but that's not going to be enough to win. I'm preserving a vowel. This doesn't survive a bingo, but I'm creating a new lane for IN bingos, 7-letter IN bingos. I'm not seeing any. No, impend, impede, but I'm not seeing a 7. Okay, I'm going with this. And yeah, not a bad 6-letter set. I'm not seeing an out in 1. I do have the N, which means opponent doesn't have any options in row D. Dord may be good, but I'm not seeing a 7 with opponent's rack. So I think I can scrape over the line. Do I have an out with this rack? I've got the ING ending. I've got the T. No, I'm not seeing anything through this I in any position. Not seeing anything with the V. Not seeing a 6-letter play on my rack. Fantastic, just 29 for opponent. They don't have a bingo, more to the point. They trail by 40. They've left themselves with dipped, which may play in row N. Dord may be good. And is. So does opponent have a second out? No. Can I do anything about that out? Dort is also good. So, actually, Dort may not be good. Dort is valid. Let me just get rid of that E on the end. I didn't want that there. So that's 19 points. Definitely takes out one out for opponent, not providing another. Do I now have an out? Tick takes an E in front. So should I play that now? Does that then give me an out with G and N? Yeah, because ing is good, so I think I will play that. Does the opponent have an out in this spot? Well, I'm not seeing it, so I am going with Etic. And this game is won. I'm just trying to find the winningest out sequence. Not my strong suit. But I do have an out in column 14. Opponent could block that. Do I have a second out? Gosh, nearly. Gene is good, N is good, but OG isn't. 8 minutes on opponent's clock. X on is good, and Go and Gi are good, so I'm not going to be stuck with anything. Interesting. I wonder if retaining the E would have given me 2 outs. One feels that ENG has some flexibility, but I'm not seeing any outs with that. 7 minutes on opponent's clock, 4 on mine. I'm still looking for spots for G and N. But nothing has come to mind. A front hook of G not used. Vor takes nothing in front. AE takes nothing after it. Great. 14 for opponent, and more to the point, my out remains available. And the final score, 427 for opponent, 489 for me, a winning margin of 62 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Fairly comfortable margin of victory, but it didn't feel comfortable. So it was me to go first. Opponent says you blocked 3 of my bingos. Fantastic. So I played Gov, and I could have played Vegas for 12 more points, burning the S, which is worth 8 to 10, and providing floaters for opponent and access to double word squares. I like my play. Opponent changes. Yeah, I don't like sacks. I don't like the rack leave, so I played Bay for 16 fewer points, but with, I think, a much nicer rack leave and providing, well, very little for opponent. Now, opponent does have a bingo, plays Basia, but it gives me a double-double for over 100 points. And you can see here both sevens were good, diaxons and dioxans. So I have a 70-point lead, but opponent comes straight back with a 60-point play. No bingo here. I play Zonda. Interesting, Zonda was playable through this D for 50 points, and I play it for 43. But playing in column 4 would have allowed opponent to make a 5-letter play through that Z. Or, in fact, they would have played, or could have played lulz, L-U-L-Z, whereas the Z is fairly safe where it is. It would need probably a 6-letter play. There are very few 5-letter plays ending in Z. Now, opponent's rack plays mulling, and this is what I was thinking about talked in column 11. Gosh, only 1 point of difference, and it's very difficult to compare the value of the openings I'm creating, the T in the middle of row A, or these two openings, but for reasons stated, I went with the one I did and liked it. So other options are rocade, and then alternative placements of the blank. I haven't noticed any spots where I've blocked opponent's bingo yet. Could this be one of them? Not seeing it. So opponent plays ale. I have Powney, which I was pleased with, but it gifted opponent this bingo. And now my lead is only 58 points, less than a bingo. And I've got no vowels, so I change, and look at this, only 14 points available. Opponent plays Afro, and now my lead only 13 points, but I've drawn well. I have Hastener for 61, but C12 through this R. Retrench, Brethren, oh wow, and Trencher. Yeah, I should have spotted one of those, but pleased to have spotted a bingo rather than none. Now, is this a rack where I blocked opponent's bingo? Yes, re-insight was blocked. Fantastic. So, opponent plays crit. I have off. And opponent plays hue. So, I now lead by 60, so still not safe. And this was a challenging rack. E3. YL for 30, I didn't see that. So I make a strategic decision to take out bingo lanes and turn over tiles at the expense of score. So I now lead by 68, 6 tiles in the bag. Not seeing a blocked bingo here. Opponent plays icon, 2 in the bag. I play Vor. And no bingo for opponent. They play May. No out for me. But N3 Etic, that was my play. No out for opponent, so I did block the only out. Plays Ripped. And finally, ING, that was my play. But also K11, sign available, created by opponent and sing. So before opponent's play, ING was the only out and perhaps could have been blocked. Yes, with tip. But it wasn't blocked and I went out and that was the end of the game. So super exciting stuff. I only spotted one of the 3 bingos, which opponent says I blocked. So do leave a comment in respect of the other 2 if you spotted them. But absolutely fantastic game. Scrabble at its best. Super exciting stuff. Big scores. Both of us over 400 points. And this is a sort of board you see at the end of a game between 2 good opponents. It's all spread out and very few ladders. So super exciting stuff. Many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe. And I will see you next time.